Alright, so in this video I want to talk about the blame game that we all play. And we need to stop playing it. To put it simple, we blame our parents, we blame our partners, we blame our children, we blame our employers. I mean, the fact that we had children at a certain age and stuff like that. We blame our friends. We blame our environment. We blame the government. We blame racism. We blame white people. We blame black people. We blame Mexicans. And we blame just anybody that can take the pressure off of us. Honestly, I made a video about generational curses. And this channel was created to assist me through my journey in recovery. Okay, recovering myself. All right, even though I'm not a drug addict, I'm not an alcoholic, I'm not a gambler, I don't do any of those things to myself. Right? I'm not a prostitute. I don't sell my body. I'm not an escort. I'm not a pimp. I don't do any of those things to my spirit. Because when you do those things, you're doing it to your spirit. Okay? You're breaking your own self. And you're creating karma that you would have to pay later. But anytime that things don't go as the way we want it to go, we look for someone or something else to blame. We're going to have to pay for the karma for the bad stuff that we do. So you could go ahead and blame your parent. You know, you could blame it on a generational curse. It might be that. The good news is that you can clear that karma if you do the work. There's millions of videos on how to do the work. I might say it one way. You know, this white guy might say it different. This other white guy might say it different. This older white guy might say it different. This white woman might say it different. This black young girl might say it different. This hood dude might say it different. You know, this hood white dude or hood black dude might say it different. But everyone is telling you the same thing. You have to wake up. And then you have to do the work. Because you know, some of us are not even choosing to wake up. The universe is like, hey, snap out of it. It's time for you. You know, you're a good person. It's time for you to do good by you. And when it's time for you to do good by you, you got to take everyone else out of the equation and see where you're going wrong. All right? And if it's a generational curse or some type of soul tie to a family member or anyone else, you have to break that tie. And you have to clean up that karma, that generational karma. It's your job. Maybe you're the strongest person in your family and it's your job to clean it up, but you got to do the work. And it starts with you, meaning you have to recognize your power first. All right? And then, because that responsibility wouldn't have been given to you unless you can take on that responsibility. So it wouldn't have been given to you. That's the first thing that you have to realize. Why me? Because you are a strong being, strong soul. You got a very good spirit. And they chose you to do it. All right? So we can blame our environment, the environment we grew up in, that got us doing all these things to ourselves again. But if you're an adult now, there's plenty of ways to learn new behavior. You just got to wake up to the fact that you have to, if you really want to, you have to take the time to do the work. Learn to love yourself. Learn to stand your ground. Learn to be firm on that. When you say no, I mean no. If I don't want to do it, I don't do it. If I don't want to go, I'm not going. I'm not doing anything to please my friends. If that gets me less friends, then so be it. I'm all right. I believe now in God more than I ever have. Not that I didn't believe in God, but I understand God better. And I understand what it is. And I understand what it means that God is within you. And I understand what the devil's spirit is and the devil's energy is, which is anything that's detrimental to you. Anything that's not good for you. You're doing meth? Well, you got the devil's spirit in you. You're having sex, casual sex, you swiping, whether you're male or female, swiping and just meeting people and just hooking up and feeling like, oh, after the fact, feeling beautiful after the fact, you got that devil spirit in you. Because from that encounter, man, you could have not came back home that day. Or you could have, you put yourself in danger of, you could get a disease that you can't be cured from. Things can happen. That person could have killed you. I mean, we heard about it. It's not like unheard of. Whether you're a male or female. Don't think because you're a male like, oh, that's just for female. Dudes can get killed too. By females, or it could be a setup. We got this new society who just get high because everyone else is getting high. And then when things don't go good for you, you blame it on your environment, the environment you grew up in. You blame it on your parents. I just always just kind of touch on the subject of parents, right? Our parents we've been hearing our parents' voices since before we were born, okay? And those are familiar voices. So basically, whatever they tell us, we're like, oh, that's gospel. That's right, Dad. You know, my dad he's a pimp. He's a player. He's strong. My mom, she know how to get that money. We don't even know that we've been put faulty programming in us. So, you have to recognize who your parents are. Understand who they are. Peep them. They're misguided souls. And if they raised you, oh, now I understand why these things are happening to me. But the bad events, the bad stuff, is going to continue happening in your life until you wake up and realize that you have to clear that karma. It's your job because you're strong. You're the most powerful one. You look at your dad like your dad is Superman because he get the girls and he's 60-something or 50-something or 40-something and he's still getting girls. No, he's weak. He needs these people to define him. If you need to have sex with a lot of people to feel like you're about something, you're a weak soul. You're weak by yourself. I'm single right now. And although this society has told you that a single person or woman at my age, or a man, they're kind of like a failure when you don't have like wife, kids, a big house and a home. Society has told you that that person is a failure. But not when you have standards, though. I have morals. I have a standard. I want somebody that knows what they want, right? They finish playing. They're secure in themselves. They have confidence, right? And they don't need a lot of people to define them. Look at what we're working with today. Why should I not be single? So basically, the way it looks to me right now, there are good people out there for me. There's somebody good for me, right? But what am I working with right now? Look at my choices. A whole bunch of insecure people who, if they're not wearing I don't want no man that needs to wear 2 earrings to feel pretty. A guy that knows that his responsibility, that he could be the head of the family, and his responsibility is to be a man. If you want to compete with me and be a girl, and you need a lot of women to define you, then you're not the guy for me. You understand? If you meet a woman and she needs a whole lot of guys to be lusting over her so she can feel pretty, and that's not what you want, don't try to change her. She's obviously a broken soul. She has low self-worth, and she needs complete strangers to define her. So if you're single and you're feeling like, you think like, yo, let me go do what everybody else is doing, just swipe and go meet complete strangers, and that's not your thing. If you think it's okay if you're single and you're a guy, okay? I know that for a woman, it could be a lot, easier to just be single and just do what we do, and men just feel incomplete if they're not out there. You know, you feel you're missing out, but it's okay, because when you know, you're not doing any justice to yourself by just following trends. You're not, especially if your soul is not made for that. So you do yourself an injustice, and then you blame it on the environment you live in. Then you blame it on the environment that you grew up in. You blame it on, you know, you did this because your wife pushed you to that point. Your husband wasn't giving you enough attention. It's you. And I've said it in many videos. It's you. Okay, so it's not because you're fooling people and you're sleeping with them and making them believe that you care about them. That's not what you're doing. The injustice that you're doing is to yourself, to your spirit. All right? Because every time you share that intimacy, that kind of sexual intimacy with somebody, you're doing something to your spirit. I hope you know that. And I'm not about to explain that. I need you to wake up and do your homework and look for the answers to your questions and stop blaming everyone else. Why? Who am I to say that? I learned. Okay? Now, I wasn't sleeping around with everybody. That was never my thing. I wasn't, like I said, drug problems and all that stuff. But I was given too much attention. You see, attention is important. Too much attention to people that didn't deserve my attention. Not so much my, well, you can say it's love, but when you give too much of you to somebody else, you're taken from you. You see what I'm saying? So please, let's stop focusing on things external to us to blame for what we're going through. Yes, our environment fucked us up. And sorry for the F-bomb, but that's how I speak sometimes. Yes, our parents were irresponsible and didn't teach us the right things. Yes, our parents misguided us. Yes, our partners did things to us to drive us crazy. But the action that you took towards that situation, the way you handled that situation was detrimental to you. You did it. So stop looking for everything and everyone outside to blame. Fix yourself. How do I fix myself? Take your attention off of everyone else. Take your attention off of blaming people. Take your attention off of who's doing it to you. Take your attention off of what happened to you in the past. Take your attention off of that. And now put your attention is like, how can I live the way I want to? How can I become the person I want to become? How can I feel better about myself? How can I build my self-esteem? How can I prevent these things from happening again? How can I prevent these things from happening again is the best question there. How can I prevent these things from happening again? And focus on that. Because you're saying how can I prevent these things from happening to me again? What is my part? What can I take out of the equation and what can I put in to the pot for myself? Okay, there comes a time that you are fully responsible for yourself, whether you are married or you still live you're old and you still live under your parents' roof, or you in a situation where you think other people are responsible for your happiness, for your well-being, for you to be comfortable, for you to earn money, for you to... No. There comes a time when you're 100% fully responsible for your well-being. Whatever happens to you, whoever comes in your life, how they behave while they're there. And one of the strongest statements that I've ever read is, you teach people how to treat you. And I learned that. I don't think I was like the worst of the worst, right? But I was letting people get away with stuff. And then I was like, hey, my mother, my mother did some shit. Yeah. But I've been an adult for a while now. That means I could have changed those things 20 years ago. I could have worked on myself if I knew to work on myself. Right? So now, you don't know what working on yourself is? Pay attention. Just being told. Because the energies are shifting and you want to be on the right side. All right. I hope you get some out this video. Bye.